welcome again. We are now with Mr. Miguel Blanco from ZKTECO Europe. He's a product manager at ZKTECO with a new session called the ATA series Access Control Made Simple OSDP emerging as a new security standard. Mr. Miguel, stage is yours and welcome on board.
Thank you, Adis. And first of all, thank you to all of you to organize this event. And I know it's quite difficult to organize such a big event and to have all the people online and everything. So it's a great effort that you have made, and thanks for giving us the opportunity to share with you some of our products and some of our solutions. Today we are going to talk about our new product that we have launched recently. We call it the Atlas series, and it's an access control solution that we define that is just to make easier for everyone to implement an access control system. So we have divided the presentation, the content in this four topics. One is an introduction, just explain what is Atlas. Then I will give the different options that we have, configuration options that we have for this solution. On the third stage, we will talk about how does it work, how the solution is working, what can it do, and the fourth part is a practical part. I will do a setup from scratch so we can see how easy it is to set up a system, how easy it is to add a user, and how easy it is to make the first enrollment of the user and then the first opening of a door with this access control solution. Okay, we go to the first part of this introduction so we can explain what is Atlas. Atlas is a scalable access control solution that combines RFID and biometric identification. This solution was designed to simplify the offer process, installation, operability, and support. So it is a solution that we designed to make it easy for the person that has to offer the solution, to make it easy to choose between the different options that the solution offers. It is easy to install because we have some user manuals, some installation guides that can help you to make it easy to start it. It's easy to operate. This is important because the end client at the end has to operate it every day, and the installer has to explain the end client how to operate it. It's easy to explain. It's easy to make it work, and we try to reduce the support. So an installation, when we finish the installation, we explain to the end client how it works. Then if we have a lot of questions later from after sales support from this end client, this makes reduce the value of the product. So it's important that we simplify all the solution. Here I have a video that I want to show you first this video to give an introduction about this product, and then later I explain all the features that we have in the solution. Okay, after seeing this video, this is like a small summary of all the solution. We will go now deep into each of the parts. First, as introduction, I will explain some main features of this solution. One feature is that it's a simple solution because we will have a software that is embedded as a web server in our controller. This will simplify our solution because it's not necessary to install software in a server. So it will reduce a lot of troubles that we have with the network, and in some cases with administrator rights, in some cases antivirus. This will be, all these troubles will be reduced with this. This is simplifying only to have the software embedded in our controller. The system is scalable because we can allow up to 84 doors in the same system. The system is also secure because we use encrypted protocols for all the communication. The system is flexible because it allows fingerprint and card identification. And we also have the possibility of using PoE and Wi-Fi. It is easy to offer because the options that the different configuration options are very clearly defined. We will see it later. We have two different options to get a remote access to our system. One is by a mobile application, the other one is by the web server. It is a very cost-effective solution because one of the main features is that we don't need to include a PC in the final offer. And being a very simple, trying to be a very simple solution, it is also at the same time a very complete solution because we are able to offer in this solution some advanced functions, access control functions. We will see later which this advanced function, some example of them. Now we'll go to the hardware configuration options that we have. We divided in the Atlas access controller in two parts. One are the RFID controller with its RFID readers, and one other biometric controllers with its fingerprint readers. For the RFID controllers, we have this four options. One is the Atlas 100, 200, and 400. The first one is for one door. The second one has two doors, and the fourth one, the third one has four doors. All of them can support WIGAN and OSDP RFID readers. They have a capacity of 5,000 doors, 5,000 cards, sorry. They have an auxiliary input, we have an auxiliary output, we have some linkages, we will explain it later. We have flexible card formats, so we are able to adapt to different manufacturers of card readers if you need to read a specific card format. We have an integrated PoE possibility, and also we have a Wi-Fi that is optional. It must be indicated during the order, but it's also possible to integrate Wi-Fi. The controllers support a mobile application for remote access control, for remote management. iOS and Android is supported. And optionally, we can provide a metal case for installation. You can see the metal case here on the right. These are different RFID options that we have. We have a lot of, in ZKTECO, we have a lot of RFID readers, but we choose only a small part of our RFID readers as to simplify the solution for Atlas. The readers that we are now promoting and we are recommending are the OSDP readers. I will explain later the advantage of using an OSDP reader. For this, we have two options, the KR613 OSDP. It's a dual frequency reader. It can read 125 kilohertz and 1356 megahertz cards. KR614 is the same reader, but with the option of the keypad. We still keep our WIGAN readers for compatibility. In this one, we have our KR600 series, KR610 series, and we have also the option of the KR613 that is a dual reader. I want to explain a little bit about the difference between WEGAN and OSDP. Why we recommend now to move to OSDP. In WEGAN, we have some disadvantages compared with an RS-485 protocol. The disadvantages are mainly that the cable length is limited to 100 meters. It is there's no encrypted data transfer. Well, in fact, WEGAN is even not a protocol. It's just sending a number without any protocol. We don't have a return protocol. It means that we are not able, if it's necessary to give a return answer, if one card was accepted or was denied, we are not able to do it with WEGAN. We need to add some additional cables. And it's also not possible to determine if one reader is online or not. But there's a big advantage of WEGAN. And the big advantage of WEGAN is that it's a long year established standard in access control, and all the manufacturers in access control are using WEGAN. So if we have a WEGAN reader, we will be sure that it will work on any other manufacturer, because it's the most used standard, still the most used standard in access control. We have been using for our RFID readers also for a long time in ZKTECO our RS-485 protocol. With RS-5 protocol, we have some advantages. For example, we can reach cable lengths up to 1,200 meters. We have a secure communication channel. We have a return protocol. We can send information if the card was accepted or denied. We can send this information back. But there was a big disadvantage with the RS-485 because it's a proprietary protocol. It means that every manufacturer is using its own protocol. That means that if I have a reader from manufacturer A, it will not work with a controller from manufacturer B. The protocol is not the same. OSDP is bringing the solution for this. OSDP is a unified protocol for the industry that unifies all the manufacturers, and it can ensure interoperability between different manufacturers, and this can ensure that we can have a reader from manufacturer A and it will work with controller from manufacturer B if both of them are OSDP supported. These are the different options that we have for biometric controllers. One is the 160, 260, and 460, the same as RFID controllers, 1 door, 2 door, 4 doors. Specifications are the same. This controller support WEGAN and OSDP readers, and additionally, we allow to use an FR1500, which is a RS-485 fingerprint reader. Capacity is also 5,000 cards and 5,000 fingerprints. Here, with this controllers, we have also additionally an additional auxiliary input port. The rest of the configuration specifications are the same. Flexible card formats. We integrate PoE. We can have an optional Wi-Fi. It supports a mobile application, and we can provide a metal cabinet for installation. Here you can see our fingerprint readers. At this moment, Atlas, the biometric Atlas, only supports fingerprints. We are working on supporting in the future also some devices with face recognition, but at this moment, native, we are only supporting the fingerprint readers. The FR1500A is an RS-485 fingerprint reader that can be connected to the biometric controllers. We have 2 versions. One version is for inside, and we have one version for outside that is waterproof. And it includes also an RFID reader. So it's both this fingerprint and RFID reader. And the ZKTECO is a USB fingerprint reader, and this is necessary to be connected to the PC to enroll the fingerprints. So it's always necessary to have an ZKTECO if you want to use to enroll a fingerprint. It's not possible to enroll a fingerprint directly on the FR1500. Okay, I will explain a little bit about how does Atlas work. what is the solution? First, I will show an architecture of typical architecture of the Atlas system. I will talk a little bit about the license. I will show some features of the software and some screenshots. I will also talk about what we can do with a mobile application. This is a typical architecture of an Atlas system. I told you that we have controllers for 1, 2, and 4 doors, and that we are scalable up to 84 doors. So the questions that everyone can make is that, okay, so how can I reach the 84 doors if I have only 4 doors controllers? Okay, the solution is because one controller is acting as the primary controller, and we can connect by TCP/IP to the network our secondary panels. So we can connect up to 20 secondary panels that are controlled by the primary panel. When we connect the panel, we can choose if this controller is going to act as the primary or as a secondary panel. If I choose that it will be a primary panel, I will have more menu, a bigger menu, more points in the menu. If it's a secondary panel, I will have only a few options in the menus, only to set the IP address and things like this. So at the end, it's a system that we can build, we can scale it, and we can reach this 84 doors. You can also see that the SLK20R, if you need to enroll fingerprints, it's connected to the PC that is accessing to the access control panel. Some people get confused and connect the fingerprint reader to the access control panel directly. No, but you have to use it on the PC. There's a driver you can download, and then you can draw the fingerprints on the PC that is connected to the web server. I will talk a little bit about the license. The default license support 24 doors, and we support one mobile application client. And with commercial license means that the first license is always included in one controller. It's not necessary to pay any extra fee to have a license. The license is included in any controller that you can buy from us. The second one, but with a commercial license, you can reach up to 84 doors and 10 mobile applications. This is the maximum you can reach. And it's important that to remember to take note that the secondary panels cannot be never more than 20. It means that if you want to reach the 84 doors, it's only possible to do it with 4 doors controller. You can have 20 controllers with 4 doors, and then the master panel also 4 doors, and it's 84 doors. So if you want to reach 84 doors, it can be only reached using 4 doors controllers. These are some functions, advanced functions that we can find in the software. In spite of being trying to be a very simple solution, the software is giving also some features that can consider it like an advanced access control. One is we can define an area anti-passback. We can define an area with different doors, and we can apply an anti-passback for that area. We can make linkages with auxiliary inputs. We can make linkages with auxiliary outputs. It means that for different events, we can activate one auxiliary output that can be activating our alarm system or whatever we want. We can also interact with auxiliary inputs. This means that I can connect, for example, one fire detector or any sensor, and this sensor can activate different lockdowns or openings of doors in my system. You can generate a general lockdown. It means that in case of emergency, with just one click, I can close all of my doors. We can have a duress pin. It means that if someone is forcing me to open a door, then I can enter a special pin that will activate a silent alarm. We have a master point report. We can, with a master point report, We can choose a reader in which we have to, in case of emergency, all the people that are inside of the building have to present the card on this reader to be delete from the list of the people that are inside of the building, so we have a record of the people that are still remaining inside of the building in case of emergency. We can have email notifications. We can support a card printer. We can create our own company card templates and print for each of the users. We have a special day management. We can, for different days, we can for different special days, we can set different time zones for that days. And we have flexible door configurations. It means that we can, for the doors, we can set, for example, during specified time interval that this door has a different verification mode, or this door remains open. So it's very flexible. And some other functions, like it's also possible to interact with an API, and we have some different advanced access control functions that we can include in this system. Here are some screenshots of the software. This is the dashboard. This is when we create the time zones. Here's the wizard to create the special days. This is a screen where we can create a new user. Okay, and the last point of this part is to explain a little bit about the mobile application. The mobile application is always included with the default license, and this will allow us to make an easy management of this software. Very easy to manage from the mobile phone. It's not necessary to open the tablet or to open a laptop to manage the software. The mobile application, of course, is not able to do all the configurations, but the things that we can do are summarized here. One is that we can create, delete, and edit the users. We have a real-time monitoring where we can check the door status, events, and alarms. We can review the reports. We can do a remote opening of the door, so we can stay easily at home, and we can get a call from someone that is trying to enter to our building and he has forgot his card, and I can easily open this door from sitting from my home. We can perform a general lockdown, so in case of emergency I can open my mobile application and lock all the doors. One solution that we have, one case study that we have in the last time that is very used with the mobile application is the holiday, the weekend shared flats. So people that have a holiday house or flat that they share for holiday time or for the weekends. And it's very easy to share code to open a door. So you can stay at home and you can have your holiday house very far away and send a code to open that door to the person that has rent the house. And the mobile application is available for Android and iOS for both. Now I'm going to show a little practical demonstration, which will be a practical setup of an Atlas system. I have take one Atlas controller, and I have performed a factory reset. And with this factory reset, we can do now complete setup from scratch. So I have connected my Atlas controller to the network. In this case, it's not TCP/IP. I have connected it's TCP/IP, but I've connected not by cable. I've connected by Wi-Fi, but it's the same. I've connected to my PC one CR20MD, which is a card reader, a card enroller that we have. And I have connected by OSDP connection, 1K613 OSDP reader. Okay, I will share my my screen. Okay, here we can. This is the default screen when we access the first time to the Atlas controller. So I'm connected to the web server of the Atlas controller. The default password is admin. The first time I started, I will have a wizard that guides me through the configuration. The first thing that I can do is I can select the language. We support most of the European languages. If there's some missing language, you can get in contact with us, and you can ask if it's possible that we can translate in a specific language. But at this moment, we have translated to most of the languages that we need at this moment. We select the language, click on next. Here we can select what I told you before. We can select here if it will be a primary or secondary controller. In this case, it will be a primary. If I have some other controllers that are secondary from this primary controller, the next controllers that I add here will be selected as secondary. But in this case, this will be a primary controller. Here I can change the name. I will call it Atlas Test Panel. I can choose the configuration. It's a door configuration. In this case, I will have an in-out configuration. So I can select later if I want to choose between in and out. The time zone that the time zone is correct. ZKTECO+1, and here I can change my password. Default password is admin, and here I suggest always not to use admin. You can try some more difficult password. In this case, I will keep admin because it's a testing controller, and I will recover it later. Here we can change the IP address configuration. In this case, I will keep the same. This is a review, a summarize, and we can complete this. Complete the setup. After doing the setup, the controller will restart, and after a few seconds, we can access again to the controller and do the configuration. It takes some seconds because it's restarting now. Okay, after the wizard, you see the controller restarts, and then we can access to the controller. Here we get we are reminded to do a registration. It's always recommended to register the controller, because if you register the controller later, if you forget your password, you can recover this password. So it's recommended to do it. If you don't do it, we are always reminding you that please do it. Okay. Here you see this four icons are really the most important icons. Here we can do all the configurations that we need. In the menu, we can change the language if we need. Here in access control, we can first we will choose to create a user. Well, first we will create some schedules or time zones. Here I can create a new one. I can select here I can select, for example, if I want to create a schedule from 9 in the morning to 16 in the afternoon, from Monday to Friday. I create it and have to give it a name. I call it from 9 in the morning to 18, from Monday to Friday. I save it. I can create as much schedules that I want. Later, I can create my access level. The access level is the combination of which doors I can open in which time zone, in which schedule. In this case, I will create a time next level that allows me to open door 1 in and also go out in a schedule that I choose from 9 to 18 for in and out. I give it a name. I call it door 1, schedule 1, and I save it. Now I can create a user. Create a new user. I give the user a name. I can also add a user picture. This user picture will be used if I have a CAD printer connected. This picture will be used to create my own card. Give it a user ID. I can select the role. In this case, it's only a card holder. Card holder means that this user will be only used for the access control. The person that I create the card now, he will not be able to access to this interface. If it's going to be a user that is going to access to the interface, I can create also here some system administrator. I can create different roles. I can define even different roles and assign this role to any of the users. But in that case, it's going to be users that are going to access to this web interface to create the users or to supervise something. In this case, it will be a card holder only. I can also create a group. I can create groups. I can assign people to groups. Later, I can create some doors which are only allowed to open by people that are part of a specific group. I can set a validation for a valid time for the user. In this case, it's until further notice, so the user will be valid for every time, for all the time. But if I want to set a period of time in which this user is active, is valid, so I can set it here. I set also vacation time for this user between these 2 times. The user will be not active in the system, so he cannot open any door in the system during this time. And here I can also add some informations. In this here, I can add my card. So I will use my USB reader and I will present the card to a USB reader. Here. And it will write the card number. Here I can also add a PIN number. PIN is a password that if I have a RFID reader with a keypad, I can select, I can enter here the password to open that door. And in this point, I can add also fingerprint. Remember that we need the SLK20R to enroll a fingerprint. Here we can select the access level. So I have created previously an access level that allows me to open door 1 during 9 in the morning to 16 in the afternoon. So I will assign this access level to this user. Here's where I can create the card. If I have previously designed the template for the card, I can choose the template here and then print the card for this user. Okay, now we have basically we have assigned this card number to this user and we have assigned him an access level. We save this. And now if we go to the real-time monitor events, If I punch the card on the KR613, sorry, I forgot one configuration that is important. Because I explained to you that the reader can allow RS-485 protocol, it can allow for the fingerprint readers, it can allow OSDP readers, and it can allow Wiegand readers. So it's important that we configure in the hardware configuration, we select our panel and we go to the configuration. Here we can choose by default, the biometric panels are configured to support the RS-485 protocol from the fingerprint readers. But in this case, I have connected an OSDP reader. So we have to choose custom. This is Wiegand protocol, OSDP protocol. In this case, we are using OSDP readers, so we choose the OSDP reader. Here we can choose the address of the reader. In our case, the KR613, we use a deep switch to configure the address. Some other manufacturers use the OSDP protocol to configure the address. So most of the cases, the default is 0. Then we can do with a reconfiguration. We can add the reader with direction 0, and then we can change it and then click again on reconfigure. So it depends on each of the manufacturers, that some of them work with deep switch and some others work with the OSDP protocol to set the address. In our case, we choose to use the deep switch because it's easier. We think it's easier for the installer just to, you have on the back of the reader, you have some switches, you can select the address, and we think it's more convenient. And this reader, in this case, my reader is configured as with the address number 1 on the deep switch, so we select it here. We save this configuration. And now if we go to the events, it should be configured. And you see I punch the card on the reader and I'm recognized, and I think you hear the click. The click that you hear is the relay that is opening the door. Repeat it. Okay, this is basically what I wanted to show you about the software. We can have also a quick overview. We can, in the door configurations, we can set different configurations for the doors, like the verified type. We can force a verified type. We can assign a door to an area, create an anti-passback for that area. We can have a multi-access group. We can create a group of people, and we need more than one person of this group of people to open that door. We can set the time to open the door. We can activate or deactivate the exit buttons of the door. So it's really a lot of configurations that we can do on the door level. We can create different areas at the different doors to that areas. We can have also interactive maps. We can add a map and then place the different doors on that map as a visual help to help us to find the different doors. We can have the card designer where we can create different card templates. Here it's possible to add our own logo, the information that we want to have from each of the user, and then we choose this template and we print out the card for the user just in the moment that we create this new user. Here we have the different card formats. These are some already predefined card formats, the most common. But in case that we need to define a different card format with its facility codes and card numbers and parity bits, we have the possibility to create our own format. This is also to ensure the interoperability with third-party readers. And it's also possible to configure the different the different linkages that we have, combining that I have explained before, combining the auxiliary inputs and auxiliary outputs to have different response. And the admin part, the most important is the user roles. In the user roles, we have some predefined user roles already, but we can create some new user roles. I can give a name to the user role, and then I can select which options are available for this user role. Later, I can create a user with this user role. So I can create, for example, a user that is only able to view the information in the online monitor, and it's not, and I don't want to give him any rights for any of the other options that we have. Here we can set the email settings in case that we want to receive the email notifications. Here we can also perform a firmware firmware update. We are updating the firmware from time to time, so it's always interesting to know where you can update the firmware. In the network settings, we have both options. In this case, the controller has support Wi-Fi, so we can select the Wi-Fi network here, or change the IP address of my Ethernet connection. Here I can also do backup. I can do the backup of the system. The controller itself, it makes a backup every day. I can restore this backup, but I can also, if I want it, I can download a backup to my PC and then restore backup. Here in the access menu, we can create the users. We can create shared access codes. We can create emergency codes. We can set the access levels. We can create the schedules. We can create door mode schedules. These are for special period of time. For example, from 9 in the morning to 18 in the afternoon. 18 during our weekdays. This time is office time, and during this time, I think it's not necessary to keep the door open, to keep the verification level in which the user has to verify to open a door. So I can just click on unlocked, and it means that during this time, if I save now, I save the name, unlock between 9 and 18. I've created, oh, sorry, 9 to 18. During the weekdays, I want to set unlock. I save, this is like, let's say a property. I save this property, unlock from 9 in the morning to 18. And if I go to the door configuration, I can set this, I can select door 1, and I can select here my, this, door mode schedule. I can select the unlock from 9 to 18. So it's like I assign this this property to this door. In that case, this door will be unlocked from 9 in the morning to 18 all the time. So it's not necessary that the people verify this. Okay. This is what I wanted to show about the practical setup of the system. Some of the configurations maybe are more complex. I don't want to enter in this part. Maybe it's more part of an advanced training of the Atlas system. But I think it gives a good idea about how easy it is to set up the system and to make it run. At least the most easy part, that is to make it work, and that to enroll a fingerprint or to enroll a card, and then give access to this user to open a door. Okay, then with this, I'm finished with my presentation. You can find more information from us in our website, ZKTECO.eu. And I think if there are some questions, now it's the moment that you can make the questions if there are some doubts.
We're now checking, Miguel, if there are any questions.
Mm-hmm. Okay, no problem. If there's no questions, maybe it's a good sign. Everyone has understand everything.
Absolutely, always.
Probably, thank you, Miguel. Probably we will receive a few questions later, and we will provide you on your email. Then you can answer. So we receive some questions for previous sessions. So if someone want to get in touch with Mr. Miguel, can contact him directly on email or contact us, and we will provide the question to ZKTECO Europe and Mr. Miguel. Once again, thank you very much. Thank you for your time. It was a pleasure and good to learn more about access control and ZKTECO. Stay in touch with us. We are tomorrow also here. You can, if you want, you can request meeting with representatives of ZKTECO every day, and see you soon. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks to you.
Stay healthy and bye. Bye.